Welcome to the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management's virtual open house for the 2023-2028 proposed National Outer Continental Shelf Oil and Gas Leasing Program.
Hello, my name is Amanda Lefton and I'm the Director of the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management, or BOEM. Welcome to our virtual open house, and thank you for your interest in the 2023 to 2028 National Outer Continental Shelf Oil and Gas Leasing Program, also known as the National OCS Program. BOEM is the bureau within the Department of the Interior that oversees the responsible development of America's offshore energy and mineral resources on the Outer Continental Shelf, or OCS. In fact, we manage almost 2.5 billion acres of the OCS seabed, more than the total land area of the entire United States. Responsible management of OCS energy resources will be instrumental to successfully meet the Biden-Harris administration's climate change priorities, including a net zero emissions economy by 2050. To ensure that our decisions are informed by the best available science and traditional knowledge, BOEM advances rigorous research on energy and mineral resource development and the potential impacts of that development. Right now, we're developing the next national OCS program, which will extend from 2023 to 2028. The development process has 3 analytical stages, and the proposed program we're presenting for discussion today is the second step in that process. This proposed program reflects the Secretary of the Interior, Deb Haaland's, careful consideration of public input and balancing of factors as required under the Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act. The proposed program is currently open for public comment, which is essential to our planning process. We want to hear from you about how we best meet our obligations and the nation's energy needs. We plan to host multiple virtual meetings where we will provide information on the proposed areas, the lease sale schedule, and related environmental analysis. We hope to hear from members of the public, tribal governments, industry, federal and state agencies, as well as elected officials to help shape what the third step in the analytical process is, the proposed final national OCS program. Thank you again for joining us today and for being part of this important process.
The OCS Lands Act defines the Outer Continental Shelf as a vital national resource reserve held by the federal government for the public. This act states that these resources should be made available for expeditious and orderly development, subject to environmental safeguards, and authorizes the Secretary of the Interior to lease portions of the OCS for oil and gas development. The Act requires the completion of a multi-step, multi-year process of analysis and public consultation before the Secretary may approve a new national OCS program. Per the OCS Lands Act, the Secretary must weigh many factors in developing the national OCS program, including the nation's need for energy resources, potential environmental concerns, and possible adverse impacts on the coastal zone. The National OCS Program development process starts with the broadest consideration of areas available for potential leasing, which includes all 26 OCS planning areas, 11 planning areas offshore the continental United States, and 15 areas offshore Alaska. These areas can be narrowed throughout the National OCS Program development and lease sale process. The proposed program is the second in the series of 3 preliminary proposals made by the Secretary consistent with the OCS Lands Act before taking final action to approve a 2023-2028 National OCS program. The previous administration began the process to develop the next National OCS program with the issuance of a request for information, followed by the publication of the first proposal, the Draft Proposed Program. The draft proposed program was published and made available for public comment in January 2018 and represented the first of the 3 proposals for scheduling oil and gas lease sales in federal waters. The DPP included 47 proposed lease sales within 25 of the 26 OCS planning areas. In response to the draft proposed program, BOEM received more than 2 million comments during the public comment period. These comments, as well as BOEM's analysis, inform the Secretary's decision on what should be included in the proposed program, the second of the 3 proposals before the National OCS program can be approved. Based on the comments received on the draft proposed program and BOEM's analysis, the Secretary of the Interior made the decision to narrow the geographic scope and reduce the number of sales, including removing the Atlantic, Pacific, and Alaskan Arctic entirely. In this proposed program, the Secretary has proposed a range of 0 and up to 11 potential lease sales, with up to 10 in the Gulf of Mexico and 1 in the northern portion of Cook Inlet, offshore Alaska, for the 5-year period spanning 2023 through 2028. Including an area in the proposed program is not a final indication that it will be included in the approved National OCS program or offered in a lease sale. Before the program is approved and before any lease sales occur, and in accordance with the law, the Department is undergoing another round of public input, this time on the proposed program and its accompanying environmental analysis. Your input will help inform the third and final proposal, the proposed final program. Because oil and gas activities on the OCS could impact the environment, the economy, and numerous stakeholders, BOEM has also initiated a concurrent environmental review under the National Environmental Policy Act. This current step in the environmental review, referred to as the Draft Programmatic Environmental Impact Statement, has published concurrently with the proposed program for public comment as well. The Draft Programmatic Environmental Impact Statement, or EIS, analyzes the potential environmental effects of oil and gas activities in the areas that the Secretary is considering offering for lease. Your comments, combined with our analysis, will help the Secretary decide which areas to advance in the program. These decisions will ultimately be reflected in the third and final program proposal, the proposed final program, and final programmatic EIS. Once these are published, the Secretary is required to send the proposed final program to the President and Congress and must wait at least 60 days to officially approve the program and finalize the record of decision. We welcome your input to improve our analysis as part of the draft programmatic EIS and your feedback on the proposed program, particularly when it comes to regional issues that are relevant to you and your community. At BOEM, we have spent decades studying the ocean. We know a lot about the OCS and the potential impacts of oil and gas development. But we are constantly seeking new information, and we recognize that you have a lot to offer, including your knowledge and perspective. The goal of the comment period in these meetings is to gather information relevant to the areas included in the proposed program decision that can help us develop a robust analysis while also informing you about the process. So what types of information are we looking for? Let us know if you have concerns that you would like to see addressed. Include details about the impacts on the ocean and coasts, marine life, people, and the economy. If you have specific data, please share with us so that BOEM can consider it in this analysis. For example, say you're a fisherman who regularly visits a particular area offshore, and you observe an important species in this region. Let us know where and when. GIS data is especially helpful, so we can include the data into our analysis. Tell us what you think. Our government works best when it's informed, and your input will help the Secretary of the Interior decide on what to include in the final program.
Thank you for participating. Your involvement and feedback in this process is essential to inform decisions for the final program. Please visit each of our virtual stations to learn more about the National OCS program. During BOEM's live public meetings, BOEM subject matter experts will be available at each station to talk with you, answer your questions, and help you get the information you need to inform your comments. You can provide your comments during a public meeting or following the meeting online at regulations.gov or, of course, through the mail.